Welcome to another episode of the Car Dealership Podcast, where this time I'm joined by Martijn Bovee, Marketing Director of Louwman Dealer Group, one of the biggest dealer holdings in the Netherlands. Louwman has embraced AI. Martijn shares his learnings until now and also shares his vision for the future. A very interesting episode for those who are interested in learning more about AI within automotive retail. Let's head straight into the episode. Okay, Martijn, welcome to the Car Dealership Podcast. Today we're talking about Louwman Dealer Group. And before we go there, let's start with you, Martijn. Who are you and what is your role at Louwman Dealer Group?
Good morning. Now I have to switch, Martin. You didn't even ask me if I were able to do it in English, but I'll try. I'm Martijn Bovee, 43 years old, already have a long history in Dutch automotive. For over 20 years, and for the last 4 years, I guess, I am Director of Marketing and Digitalization within Louwman Dealer Group.
Yeah, exactly. And for those listening outside of the Netherlands, I think every Dutchman knows Louwman, but for the international audience, what kind of company is Louwman Dealer Group?
Louwman Dealer Group is one of the biggest dealer holdings in the Netherlands. At the moment, we sell around 13 different brands, have over 50 stores in the Netherlands. And the heritage of Louwman is in the wholesale of Toyotas. It's one of the private importers in Europe, in the Netherlands for Toyota. And that's where Louwman is famous for.
Yeah, but you, in the dealer group, you also retail other brands other than the Louwman brands.
Exactly. Toyota is our biggest brand and most important brand, but we're also keen on to sell Mercedes, Kia, Mazda, and so on.
Yeah. Okay. So, and if you look at 13 brands, 50 stores, how many employees does the company have?
At the moment, we have around 1,700 employees.
1,700. A big organization, you could say.
Yeah, and that's only half of Louwman Group, but that have in total around 3,600 employees.
Yeah, that's including the wholesale part.
Including the wholesale part and the bike companies, and there are some companies in care as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if you look at a company at that scale, what does customer interaction look like?
It looks like a factory with a lot of agents, a lot of channels coming on. As every dealer group, we only have control over a few channels because, as always, we are the OEMs have a really important role in setting the channels and. For example, the one OEM is more freedom than the other one. So we have a big factory. We have it all organized together. We call it Louwman Customer Services. And that's where the agents are answering the phone calls, answering the emails. Before we partnered, answered the chats, and etc.
Yeah, but if you look if you look at the factory and all those channels, where do the majority of the conversations where do they happen?
On the phone, and on the phone at the agents. There's always, by heart, you want every phone call answered by the service manager at the location. But that's in theory. And it just can't be done in practice because it's too busy at the counter for them. So they need assistance from agents.
So that's actually like Louwman Customer Services handling that then? And
exactly.
So that means that the majority of communication is still by phone, handled by the person that is there because the right person is actually not able to handle conversations at that scale.
I won't say the right person, that it isn't the right person, the preferred person isn't available, and the right person is the agent.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what kind of expectations do customers typically have when they call you?
I don't think customers understand the intensity and the volumes that go through a dealer holding all day. I think they expect to have their question answered at that moment for their specific question. And their specific question is always regarding to their specific car that is in maintenance at that moment or needs maintenance. That's what they expect. They expect to talk to the guy at the counter. They dropped off their keys that morning.
Yeah, exactly. So they are perhaps a bit confused if they don't have the location on the phone when they call the location.
Exactly.
Or they expect that they are there, but they are not.
Normally, they don't see that there are more customers involved. People don't think there are other cars in the workshop, right? Because if I was a customer, I know my car is there. I don't care if there are 5 more, 10 more, or 30 more.
Yeah.
So I just want my question answered. Yeah.
And is that always possible when somebody calls?
No, and that's not up to the agent, but we got a lot of systems that have to share information and that should be connected together. And probably an agent doesn't know what the guy or the girl on the counter made an agreement with that morning. Is it in the systems or in the DMS or in the CRM? And so the agent is always as good as the information he has.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it's like the data is fragmented. It can be found in different systems, so it's difficult to find it immediately when you have somebody on the phone.
Yeah, then you're on the positive side, Martin, because then you assume the data is registered in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
If it's registered, it's still fragmented, yes.
Yeah. But indeed, people say something, somebody leaves the counter, and the next customer is there, so you don't really register what was said.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you look at those kind of interactions and the phone interactions and the other channels, so what kind of changes have you implemented in how you interact with customers and over the past year, for example?
Already a few years back. Maybe it's good to go a little bit back what I did before joining Louwman Dealer Group, because then it makes sense. Before I went to Louwman Dealer Group, I set up Auto.nl as a web shop for cars in the Netherlands, and I had the firm belief that every customer interaction is a complaint. And that is a little bit appealing, I know. But for me, if the process is flawless, people don't need to interact with persons because the flow is, by user interface, is working for itself. That's how you use Spotify, Netflix, etc. So there is my belief that you can digitalize everything except emotions. But most customer service we have are functional questions and not emotional questions. Functional questions can be eliminated or served before the question arises. So it's what we had in mind with Auto.nl, where we're selling cars to 80% of the customers we never ever have spoken to. Not by email, not by phone, not by chat. They just follow the process like any online web shop. So I brought that in to Louwman Dealer Group as one of the things like, okay, it can be smart. Let's look at all the customer contact points. Which contacts raise value for the customer and which raise value for us as Louwman Dealer Group. And looking at that, we came to the conclusion that 50% of the interaction had no value to the customer or to us at Louwman Dealer Group. So then you can do one thing, and that's eliminate those contacts. And not by saying, hey, customer, you can't reach us anymore, We don't want that. But see how we can make life easier for our customers, but also for our employees. So we can add more value in the customer connections where it really matters.
Yes, exactly. So that was the plan, and what did you do to achieve that plan?
We shook hands, and now we know each other for a few years now, and we had plans. I don't know what you were doing with formerly AutoChat, now Novaco, and we're like, okay, we need AI to resolve a lot of those questions, and we started with chat because we saw chat was for us. It costed a lot of money because we did it with our own agents, but we also outsourced it. It was even more expensive. And when we were looking at the chat, it was mainly the same questions coming back every time. Very simple questions. Is my car ready? Can I make an appointment? What are your opening hours? Is the car still available? And we brought that together and thought, okay. And then we just asked, we outsourced it and we paid for every chat that gave us the name and address of the customer. We didn't do anything else. Okay. Oh, you're interested in this car? Okay. What is your name? What is your phone number? Okay. I will have you, you get a call back tomorrow morning when the salespeople arrive. Yeah. You can do that by a form. And that's how we started. We get rid of the chat agents. And from there on, we're looking at, okay, what can we do more?
Yeah. So indeed, if you look at the manual way of working very often, and definitely if you pay per contact information achievement, then actually the objective is not to answer questions. The objective is just to say, what are your details? And it's not a good customer experience, but it's also expensive for you. And it's actually not only that you pay for the contact details, but also for you'll have the time spent because you need to follow up manually if they are followed up at all. It's not logical. So indeed, using AI for those kind of things has been, I think, a big impact for your organization, where indeed you started with AutoChat. But if you think back on how it was before those changes, if you look at the biggest friction points that customers experienced, how is it now solved? What's the difference with before?
I don't say it's solved because we have still a lot of challenges to go through. But the difference is the way of thinking. First, there wasn't really awareness of how to do it smarter because phone calls, emails, chats, it was something that's regular. There wasn't thought of. It's part of the business, and we have just to answer the phone. One of the things we changed was there's always naming a phone number was always the default strategic when making advertises. When setting up a loyalty campaign, okay, you can ring us on this number. But a phone call is very expensive. So I think the best of success was integrating self-service and to say, okay, it's not necessary that they call us, but we build a channel that they can go for self-service. And why should we always follow up by a phone call if people can do it themselves by text or example? And we really started thinking over a channel strategy. How do we want people to reach us? And there's always the willingness, especially within Louwman, and we always say the customer is king, and it's in the heart of everything we do. And I totally agree on that. But when you want to do everything for everyone, it will be very expensive. But not only that, it will be very hard to control and to keep your customer satisfaction on base. It's easier to say, okay, we offer 3 or 4 channels and we do that really good. Then we offer 20 or 30 and everybody picks his own channel. So we limited the channels. We had focus on the channel. We know the amounts coming in every channel, if it was chat, email, phone, etc. And we said, okay, the phone is not our default channel anymore. Of course, we pick up the phone if people try to reach us, and we will always be there. But the challenge is to minimize the number of phone calls we're getting in.
Yeah, of course. Take call reasons away.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you look at, you mentioned same questions coming in over and over again, like make an appointment, status of a car, is this car still available, etc., etc.
Yes.
What was the moment where you realized something has to change?
To be fair, the moment we had some changes in the team of directors, and customer service was available, and they said, Martijn, can you take control of customer services? I was like, okay. And this was always in my mind, and it's just how I look at things. I want to digitalize everything. That's in my heart. That's where I live for. That's where my energy flows. So that's why you say, okay, how can we do things smarter? And hiring, I love people, but hiring an extra employee is always a sign of weakness, because you have to look if you can digitalize it first or automate it, because it's always, and it isn't simple, but it is the most simple way to hire an extra employee to get the job done. But it's not scalable, and in today's economy, and except in automotive, margins are getting thinner. So you have to do things smarter. There is a limit in working harder. I don't believe in working harder will get us to the next level. So we have to work smarter. And that was a turning point, and then we start looking.
But if you looked into that and looking for a different route, of course, digitizing is the first step, and you can't automate what's not digitized. So I think indeed
Exactly.
It starts with digitization, and then you can go to automating. But if you were focusing on this different route, what kind of solutions were you hoping to find?
When I started, I don't have my eye yet on the solution in the end. It was more the process. First, we have to get straight, what problem do we want to solve? And I always believe if you ask the right questions, you will find the answers. Because we're not Einstein or Gandhi or something. There's always somebody who coped with the problems we have before and who found a better solution than we did. Apart from digitalization, automation, talking to people, the most important part is setting up a process and business ruling. Because you said you can't automate what's not digitalized. If you have 50 different stores with all their own rules and business rules and agreements, you can't set it up. So together with my co-worker Rahid Kudar, we really focused on business rules. Okay, we're going to set an example. That's how we do it. And if we say there are two, there can be 2 people waiting in a certain store. There is room for 2 people waiting and not 3 or not 1. So you have to make the answer straight for everyone the same, and you have to know what people can expect, but even your employees and your agents, what do we agree with each other? That's your responsibility. And I think that took the most time to get everybody lined up why we are doing this. Why we limit, as they felt sometimes, their freedom, and why do I have the same as the other location? This works for me. And you have to tell the story about the greater goals, that they all benefit benefit if they give up a little bit of their freedom.
But if you look at the why, and you look at the main focus, was the main focus more to improve customer experience or to reduce operational load or something else entirely?
To be fair, of course, you always want to maintain your customer satisfaction, but it was just cost driven for us. That was the main driver. We had to lower cost on customer services.
Because of the margins that are reducing.
Exactly, we just couldn't afford it anymore.
No. But even if you could afford it, do you believe doing everything manual is the right way? To have if you could scale your team with a limited amount of people, do you think that's the solution?
No, I don't think that's the solution, because you have to train people, and we all know in customer services, the average time an agent is with the company, I think it's 18 months or something. So you will always be in the part of training people, letting people go, hiring people, training people. And so in 18 months, they learn everything, but they also forget everything because they're gone. So you're always, you stay on the same level with your agents, what they reach. And, if you automatize it, you can grow from there, and you can make it better every time you do. You improve. And
I think that the reason why they leave, sorry to interrupt, I think the reason why they leave is because they have too much repetitive tasks that are boring, and they actually don't like their job in the end, and they leave. Perhaps it's better to let AI take care of those repetitive things, and that they also enjoy their job better because they are focused on more complex questions that also give more satisfaction in your job, and they stay longer perhaps.
Hey, before we hop back into this conversation with Martin, imagine an AI communication layer seamlessly connected to your dealership systems. One intelligent platform that gives both your customers and your team instant access to the right information at the right time. Well, that's NovaCo, short for the Nova Company. At its heart is Nova, the AI model behind it all, inspired by the Nova Star. Bright when needed, invisible when not, just like a good assistant. On your website, Nova appears as the orb, a glowing, breathing chat bubble that invites customers to ask anything, anytime. But Nova is more than a website assistant. You see, with Nova Companion, she supports your team internally, answering questions using brochures, price lists, stock data, and more. Just instant answers for your team, saving them time and helping them focus on the customer. And with Nova Messaging, she connects with customers on WhatsApp and other channels, managing service updates, follow-ups, and appointment reminders, all in one professional flow. It's pretty cool. And yes, Nova Voice is coming soon, bringing the same intelligence to your phone system and completing the omni-channel experience. You see, customer communication is evolving, but with NovaCo, you're not just adapting, you're setting the pace. Find out more at novaco.ai, that's novaco.ai, and experience what's next. All right, let's get back to Martin.
Of course, I don't think AI is there to exchange all the agents and the people that are working for us. I think AI is a partner that makes their work more fun, and they have more time to talk to the customer and to connect on the emotional level, and to have a better understanding with the customer, and it really adds value as a human being. And that's what I value at heart. I don't want to get rid of agents. That's not my goal. But I want to make their work easier and therefore more likable and more challenging. Because there are still things that AI can do and people can. So it's not agents versus AI. For me, it's agents with AI. That's how I see the future.
But to take steps into building that future, did you start small or did you roll things out on a larger scale quite quickly?
Depends. I think when you look at the numbers, everything is in big numbers with us. So you can say we started big, but if you look at the total package that we can, we started small, and we need to build we need to build a case that people believe in it, that we can show a business case what we can do, because there was a lot of skepticism within Louwman as well when we started with what they called the chatbot, and so we had to prove that it would work. Not only that it would be cheaper, but also that it would maintain the customer satisfaction. So we started small, and it's new. So you ran into a lot of things that you didn't expect before, and you manage those. But then again, you see, because you get some trust into the system, and then in the way of working, you think, okay, hey, why couldn't we do this? Or why shouldn't we try that? And people get used to it. People get a liking to it because they see it makes their work better. Because in the end, it's all about acceptance. You can have the best systems, but if people don't use them, they're useless.
Yeah. So the first step that you did is then to implement auto chat on the website to replace the manual chatting with the AI. And what we see a lot with dealer groups that start with auto chat is that they are in the beginning also a bit hesitant and a bit afraid of it because they're afraid of the unknown. It's like AI and people have questions and doubts, and as soon as they go live, they say, "Oh, it works," and it's actually, and indeed what you then see is that you start on a certain level, and along the way you fine tune it further. You see some things where you say, "Hey, actually, next time we should give another answer here or there." Then you adjust it, and indeed after 18 months. They are not leaving. The AI is further trained and tailored to the organization. And indeed, people then embrace it. Not after 18 months. I think they embraced it very quickly also at the Louwman Dealer Group.
Exactly. Yeah. But you see, and I can only speak for Louwman Dealer Group, but I think you need to have some front runners or ambassadors within the organization. That at the moment, okay, we believe in this. We're just going to do it. How it will end, we don't know, but we believe in it. And for me, I embrace change and innovation because it gives me energy and I like it. And I like to try new things. And even though sometimes it fails, part of work and part of life, but you have to believe in it. And you need some ambassadors who take it with them, and with even, you will have small setbacks. And as AI is such a hype at the moment, not all expectations are fair. People expect that it will solve everything right away, and it's just an integration of a system, and all is done. AI is working together. If you don't have the data, or the data is fragmented, you will have useless AI. And so it's really about, it's not just a tool that you get from the internet. It's like working together with AI and learning together with AI. So you need to have some ambassadors who have the time to implement it in the organization.
Yeah, exactly. And the ambassadors came quite quickly also, because when you started, you mean the ambassadors are of course the ones who chose for it, but in the end you also saw that dealer clusters liked it, departments of Louwman liked it, and they also embraced it.
Yeah, this was one of the easiest innovations we ever brought to Louwman Dealer Group, from an acceptance part of view. People accepted it, people liked it, and not only the agents, but in dealerships. What do salespeople or after salespeople hate the most? Administration. They're busy all day. They want to work with customers. That's what they love, or with cars. To be fair for mechanics, they want to work with customers or cars, but they don't want to do. They hate administration, And administration is such a big part of their work. If it's done for them or it's made easier, they're like, okay,
Then they'll embrace
help
it.
us. They will embrace
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you look at this first step was AutoChat, automating the chats with AI. What kind of results have you seen operationally, financially, or otherwise?
Financially, it's pretty big. As I think, calculating by head, we dropped 30% in cost for customer services last year. It's not all through AI, but it's like all things together. If you're looking at channel, as I said, about channel strategy, not a photos default, but just thinking of your customer interaction and what contact points there are. And that altogether saved us 30%. And for Louwman Dealer Group, with the numbers we run, you're talking about millions. And
Millions
the
of saving.
best thing is, millions of saving. The best thing, it's structural. It's not once a year, because now it's
every year.
Incorporated, and it's every year.
Yeah. So the ROI has been very good.
The ROI has been very good for us.
Yeah. So if you've since expanded also the initiative, so to look at other ways to integrate AI within Louwman Dealer Group as well. So can you elaborate a bit on that, on what the plans are to actually broaden the initiative?
Yeah, of course. For us, we're looking now at the assistant, virtual assistant, and that's for the agents at start, but we will bring it to the dealerships as well. That the AI helps in an actual conversation, give information to the agent. So we all got the how do I say it? Can't come up for the English word at the moment, but we got the customer, the knowledge centers, and we connected the knowledge centers together with AI. So if the AI is listening with the agent and they're asking questions, the AI already gives the answer. So that will give us fewer phone calls, but it will limit the average handling time significantly. I think we can cut it by half if they don't have to look up for the answers to the questions people are asking. And then again, you can have more first time fix, and that's really important. It's not about average handling time efficiency, but what's really important is first time fix. And what I mean with that is if a customer rings, they don't want to get connected again to a store or to different people. They want to have the answer from the first people or agent they have on the phone. And there is always more information than one agent has. So connecting all those data together and showing the answers to the questions asked, that will help the agents a lot. And again, that's the part I like most. You're not replacing the agent. You're boosting his confidence. So their work was more fun. We forget that, but we're boosting the confidence of our agents or whoever is on the phone, because they can give an answer. And as people, we all want to help other people. That's our motivation. We want to have good answers, and we want to give good answers, maybe even more. And now we can provide them with that information and the tool to do that.
You're of course, there are, I think, two things that are important is indeed lowering the amount of time spent per phone call. So that saves, again, could save millions again, looking at your scale. But definitely also the majority of calls that agents get at the moment result in a callback request because they can't find the answer. And it's and
over
that's
30%,
costing,
Martijn.
So that's actually perhaps a hidden cost even, because your employee of the dealership will call back, doesn't reach the customer calls back, reaches the agent again, who says, oh, did the dealer call you? Well, I'll make a new callback request. It's so expensive, and the customer experience is crap.
Yeah, you get a ring group, and when we look into the data, 30% of all calls at the dealership are from our own customer service.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll give them a companion, a Nova AI
Yes.
companion to help them with day-to-day tasks, and you're also starting with WhatsApp, right? With messaging.
Yeah, we're also starting with messaging because that's the question that maybe comes most. People drop off the car in the morning. The serviceman says, "Okay, you don't have to call us. We will call you when your car is ready." And people think, "Okay," but then it's getting 3 o'clock. People are thinking, would be nice if I can pick up my car already. And I know they said they're gonna call me, but people start ringing, "Is my car ready yet?" And you see the peak in phone calls is between 8 and 9 in the morning, and between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. And it's always, "Is my car ready? Can I pick it up yet?" And it's like, it's very common in e-commerce, but we start with a track and trace, integrate. We have the data when the car is ready. We've connected it to Plan IT, for example. And to set up WhatsApp, that's another reason for us that we have to limited reasons to call.
Yeah, so by proactively informing the customer about the status through AI, using WhatsApp, for example, there's no reason to call. And it's
Exactly.
a bit comparable with even if you order a pizza nowadays, you're informed it's in the oven. We're preparing it. It's in the oven. The driver has left Domino's Pizza. And then, the driver is at your door. And then, what you can expect. So you don't need to feel a reason to call. And at the dealership, we're actually working like it's 2005.
Exactly. Too often we're thinking about AI, that AI will help us in answering phone calls or questions. But for me, if we use AI the right way, it will help us to take away call reasons. And that's what, back to them when I said every customer contact is a complaint. If your process is right, you will answer the question before it comes up to a customer.
Exactly.
And that's what I want to achieve.
Yeah. So in the end, you have you inform the customer before the question arises. So
Exactly.
Proactively. But if they call, the employee has got a system in place, an AI system, where they can find the actual information to give an answer very quickly.
Yes.
So it's also super efficient, no callback requests. So if you look at all these things, you have AI as a virtual assistant on your website. You have a virtual assistant for your staff to work more efficiently and to help people on the phone. You inform customers proactively over WhatsApp about statuses of their workshop appointment, so there's no need to call, etc. So if you look at all those things, what do you think voice could play as a role in the future?
I think it's going to voice. You have a lot of repetitive calls and call reasons. And for example, now I'm going from after sales to the sales process. We are training our sales staff for over 20 years to offer finance and assurance with every car they sell. It's been 20 years, and some salespeople are really good in it, but most salespeople still avoid it. They don't offer the sales, or they don't offer the insurance. They don't offer the financing. And it's really hard to get it in the email because people have to collect data. You don't sell insurance or financing by email because it's conversation. You have specific details for each customer. And you need to have a conversation to get a good price or a price for that specific customer and that specific car and that specific mileage, etc. But then again, it's always the same questions. but with other information that you get back. And I really believe AI with voice can do that a lot better than an agent or salespeople. And the best thing about AI is you can schedule it that 100% at least gets the offer and has the conversation. And it is scalable because it doesn't cost any money. And then again, I believe even customers will like it. Because, I don't know how it's in other parts of Europe, but in the Netherlands, we're always a little bit hesitant to tell what we earn and how our financial status it is. Dus maybe I feel even as a customer, I feel more convenient to talk to AI about that than to the actually salespeople that sold me the car.
Yeah, you'll be more open to.
You will be more open,
and that's true also with the GPT app.
Exactly.
You can ask all kinds of questions, also personal questions where you would not. Normally say to exactly, and you just ask it, But
exactly.
Indeed,
So I think we will go to voice for all the repetitive or the upselling cost. As long as we will be open to the customers that they're talking to AI, and I think there should always be a possibility to change to an actual agent, and that for me is very important. If people don't want to talk to AI or a robot, but they want to talk to real people, I think for us as Louwman, where we value personal interaction, we will always have to give the opportunity. But AI will help us to get people better trained that will act to get a better staff, because you need less staff. You can pay them more. You make their work more interesting, so you can hold them longer and give them more satisfaction in their job. So for me, in the end, if you work together, it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of focus and a lot of room for AI within Louwman Dealer Group. So very interesting to see and to not only follow, because we are a supplier, so we're also very happy with it. But if you look at the other hand, what kind of work do you think will always require a human touch?
I think it's hard to say always, because I think the speed development within AI goes beyond our imagination. I really think we cannot get our heads around what's possible in 2 more years. So, as a dealership in general, where's the money to be made is with the hands on the car. So that's with the actual repair work, and that is from glass to maintenance to repair tires, etc. There's the money to be made, and we still need to have people for that. So people, especially mechanics, are the real assets to any dealer group. And all the work around it is a little bit of overhead. And let's see how far AI comes with that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They will not be replaced in 5 years or in 10 years, because the customer evolves and everything evolves. It's not that AI is going to replace everything. I don't believe in that. For the same, when I founded Auto.nl, I really never believed that every car would be sold online and not in a dealership. But I really enjoy stretching things and see how far you can go with it.
Yeah, of course. So one of the things I liked about your way of working is where I asked you, okay, how much of the manual call center work that you're doing today would you like us to try that AI would be able to achieve? And your answer was 100%. I thought 100%. But indeed, if you actually go for 100%, you'll come close. But if you focus on only achieving 50, then you also know where you'll end up, not at 50, below. So I think it's a very interesting thought, and to say we don't know what's coming, but embrace it, try things, even you either win or you learn. Because if you try something that doesn't work, a lot of the things that you try will work. So go for it.
Yeah, and I heard from the Chinese OEMs that you have to leapfrog everything. And yeah, we heard it this week. And but that's really how I looked at it. If you're not able to dream big, you won't come there anyway. So dream big, start small. But you have to dream big, because then you will get further if you will start with baby steps.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say to other dealer groups who are listening and are still in doubt and not sure about if it's the right time to make changes?
Every dealer group has its own priorities. But I can believe that there is a dealership, I think anywhere around the world, where the people at the counters are not complaining about the number of phone calls they get. So start there, but work together. There's no one tool that can eliminate the phone calls for you. It's like, really, where is your problem? Have a good sight on where your problem is, or what do you want to improve, and then look to AI and with partners like you who can help, who did it before. All dealerships are the same. They have the same problems, and the solution is already there. You have to tweak it a little bit. It's not plug and play. You have to work together, see where your problem is, but dive into it, look into it, start small, but don't be reluctant to start, because if you wait too long, it's gone. And this is the time to start. It's good enough. It's not. You're not an early adopter anymore.
No, that time is long past.
Exactly, it's a proven tool. It's not scary. Just start and see what it brings for you.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it's been great having all this information from you. And I think it's been also very interesting for the listeners. And if someone is listening who wants to follow up or ask you a question, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me, I think
your
the
AI
best way
assistant.
is through... Yeah, you're my AI assistant. No, I think it's still through LinkedIn. And then my AI assistant will answer. So the best way is through LinkedIn. Martijn Bovee.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you very much for being a guest in the Car Dealership podcast. And I would say let's get back to work and do some good business together.
Exactly. Thanks for having me, Maarten, and see you soon. Yes.
Thank you. Bye, Martijn.
Bye-bye.